Swave Nation? Welcome to a new episode of The Charge Up. We have a special guest today, one of my favorites, none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jake Anderson. Jake, how are
What's
you?
up? Good, how are you?
Good to see you, man. I'm glad to have you in here. How's your
Glad to
week
be
been?
here. It's been good, man. It's been good. Speeding up. We're getting a bunch of closes. The office is really putting up some new numbers. We have a bunch of new reps getting deals, and that always fires me up.
That's
So it's
right.
been a good week.
Yeah, I know you've been doing great, especially with helping the guys grow and develop, and that's why we're excited to have you here on The Charge Up, because sometimes we get into these ruts and we get into the monotonous aspect of what we do, where we sometimes forget to charge up, So, how long have you been doing sales for?
So I've been doing sales. This is my 4th year, going into my 5th year. So just finished my 4th summer. And yeah, it's been good, dude.
Nice. How'd you even get into sales, especially commission based sales? Most sales guys like the security of a salary and then
Yeah.
plus commission. How'd you get into just commission based selling? Was it scary at first?
It was a little bit scary. Like getting older and kind of like looking back at like kind of all the few years that I've lived. Well, like just kind of thinking about it, like we're all always in sales. Like when I was younger and I needed money, like really, really young enough to do a lemonade stand, I'd go do a
You did a
lemonade stand.
stand?
Oh, all the
Oh,
time.
wow, nice.
My mom had to tell me like, Jake, you just did one yesterday and the day before. Like you can only do it once a week, Jake. You're taking all the neighbors' money.
I love that. No, I love that. That's
And
why
then
I
I'd
was.
start getting creative too. So I was like, okay, how can I make more money? Because the lemonade, I can only make so much money. So I'd start making brownies and then selling brownies and then selling
Wow.
Rice Krispies and offering a bigger product line. And like
Oh my
my
gosh.
mom kind of would always tell me like, you've always been a natural salesman. And like, I feel like it, like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
it is.
No, so
yeah.
commission based selling didn't scare you. You were almost.
Yeah. I'd
It
always,
needed to be.
whatever money I had to make, like
Yeah.
it was, Andrew Tate says that like money, you don't make money, you take money. And it's true. You don't like, you got to find a way to position yourself. Like money's always flowing and you just have to find a way to position yourself in between it. And then you'll take a little portion
Yeah.
of it. And so,
I love how Grant Cardone says, when you have money, if you looked at it like it's my turn with this money,
yeah,
what am I gonna do with it?
yeah.
How
A
am
great
I
way to look
gonna
at money.
allocate? Like money, like this is my turn. Like imagine,
That's a great way to look at it.
relationships. Like this is my turn with this individual. Nah. Okay, you guys
How am I
always
gonna-
talk about
how-
when we
how
talk
am
about
I gonna
sales. It's
evict
like,
it?
we'll always try to correlate that with
Yeah.
the
Well,
art of
they go hand in
seduction
hand,
and, yeah, and selling
They do.
yourself, because all the
It's crazy
stuff
how sales helps that so much.
plays in confidence, conviction.
It's all the same,
I'm gonna treat you right, baby.
But to better answer your question,
turn with the money, yeah. Go ahead.
so to get it, how I got into commission-based selling is in high school. One of my homies, he was a little bit older than me, and he went out and did summer sales, and he did good, and so I figured if he did good, there's no reason I can't learn it. Like I've always had the mentality that you can learn anything. It's really just what you put your mind to and how you allocate your time. And so I figured if he could do it, I can for sure do it. And so I went on a blitz, did good, closed 2 alarms in like 4 days, and then had to go get back to school. And went to school, went out for my first summer, and yeah, just never really looked back. I kind of went out with the mentality that like, this is like my only option.
Yeah, was there like, I almost feel for you. You didn't even have an exact moment where you knew like you couldn't go back to a 9 to 5. I feel like you almost knew.
There was one moment.
Okay, yeah. Was there a moment where you were like, I'm never going back to 9 to 5? I could never.
Yeah. So my grandpa opened up a crumble after my 2nd summer, and when they opened it up, they needed help just getting the store up and running. The opening of like a franchise is always a crazy day, and so I went down and helped them. And they had me like making the cookies, baking them, and doing all this stuff. And that was when I had the realization. And it was a pretty strong realization. It was like, I'm glad I'm only doing this today, because I would be miserable if I had to do a job like this every single day. And then also just like having well, just having the variation every single day where something's different and just like having to do new things. I don't think I could go to another job where I had the same task to complete every single day.
Yeah, I always feel like anyone doing this type of grind, you're you're naturally born to be an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
or you're here and you will develop and grow into becoming one, you
Yeah.
know. But one of the things that has always made it a no-brainer for me is just the cost to conduct business, you know.
Hmm.
Like, there's no overhead for
There's
us.
nothing. Yeah.
Our company takes care of everything for us.
Yeah.
So
It's so
it costs
nice
me $0 of inventory. It
to
costs
go.
me $0 of payroll. It costs me
Hmm.
$0 for to keep the lights on,
Costs me
to
nothing
turn
to
on,
go
you
acquire
know,
a new
like,
customer. Yeah.
yeah, $0 in customer acquisition costs, you
Yeah.
know. So it is one of those things where you think about it like that, and you've always been entrepreneurial.
Hmm.
Um, you were tell me a little story again before we started doing the filming. We were talking a little bit about your story, and I was just impressed
Thank
by
you.
just you being. How old were you when you were doing the lemonade stands in your neighborhood?
I mean, dude, I can barely even remember it. So I was probably like 8 to 10 years old.
5 years ago,
Yeah.
like Max says.
Yeah, like
Oh,
five
damn,
years ago.
you're almost
Yeah.
you're almost you've been here as old as
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So you were like 8 years
I
old
was young for
doing.
sure. Yeah, like I would. I mean, maybe even younger. I was in elementary school. It was like your elementary school age. Because by the time I was in middle school, I was mowing lawns.
Yeah, maybe
So
like 6 to 8 years old.
yeah, 6 to 8 years old maybe then.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, because I love that
Yeah.
story about you, and it makes sense how you've grown so much and have developed so much, and now one of our best leaders. But um, tell me about that, because we're talking about entrepreneurship, and then you were selling lemonade stands, and
Hmm.
you had your mom tell you. I'll let you tell the story, but you
Yeah.
know where.
Yeah, she told me I'd want to do a lemonade stand every single day, and she'd have to tell me like, Jake, you just did one yesterday. Like you got to space them out like at least a week apart. You're gonna take all the neighbors' money. And once I realized I could only do one like once a week, then I was like, okay, well, I'm only making like $10 off these lemonade stands. Like I need to start making a little bit more money. And so I'd expand my product offering. I'd start making brownies, and then I'd start making Rice Krispies, and kind of just like expanding when I could and making more money that way. Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, if that's how the definition of being an entrepreneur, I don't know what is. You know,
Yeah.
let me add to the product line. You know, wow. Let me work more often. But one thing I took from that too is, and I always tell the guys is, you know, you're doing it right when you have people telling you you're crazy,
Mm-hmm.
you're working too much. That's insane. You need to have life work balance. Oh, you need to have a life. You know,
Yeah, then
that's
you're
when
moving in
you,
the right direction.
yeah, you're moving in the right direction, and you're bound to see results probably sooner than later,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man. Um, how long were you a sales rep before actually stepping into a leadership role?
Uh, I mean, really, I'd say 3 years. After my first summer, I brought in 7 guys to sell alarms. One of them stuck out the whole summer. Um, the rest of them quit. So, and like for a bunch of different reasons, but yeah, I didn't really manage. I wouldn't say I was even a manager because most of those guys didn't stick around for more than a week or two. Um, and then my third summer, it was just me selling solar, figuring out solar, and so really this year was the first year when I started actually managing a team.
And that's one of the beautiful things that I always like about this type of grind as well, is we always promote from within,
Yeah,
and then you're in control of your own destiny. You
yeah.
know, so you decide how soon you want to get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
You decide how much money you want to make this year. You decide, you know, all of
Yeah,
those
what you wanna
different
do.
things. Yeah. So it's it's a great story to have, especially when you're recruiting and in front of potential new recruits, where because you were so hungry and you knew all it took was hard work, and I can run a show. Um, you just put in the hard work,
Mm-hmm.
and then now you're running the show. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things that's pretty awesome, especially.
And really, what made like the biggest difference in like recruiting is like I was able to get some people here and there to come out and sell with me, but Taylor. And it's funny because when we were at dinner for this last retreat, he was telling me like, "Do you remember?" He's like, "I don't know if you remember this, but after my second summer, he came out and visited me in Utah. We went and had dinner, and he was telling me like, look, dude, all your guys left." Well, he didn't say it like that, but so after all my guys had left, he told me like, look, the way you recruit and how everybody like gets a team and manages is you need a story.
Your story.
You need a story. So you have to go and do something that people want to follow.
That's what's going to attract it, because you're going to
Mhm.
attract people that are like you.
Exactly.
Like-minded.
So I went out and made, instead of making $40,000 and then $65,000, which is good money for a teenager, but it's like it's nothing. Like you can do that other jobs, you can do that working all year long. I went out and made $250,000, and then everything just started falling into place, and the whole
Yeah.
team just started following.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I make 80,000. I'm attracting 80,000 a year caliber guys. I make 250,000. I'm attracting 250,000 a year caliber guys.
We brought in, yeah,
That's insane. And then those guys have made that amount of money,
yeah.
and then that's rewarding.
Mhm.
Probably more than the money.
Oh, it's way more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what fires me up now. Like even selling a deal, like you get that little rush from selling the deal, but like
Helping someone out, but
it was even more of a rush when Brett sold his first deal, and then when Brett had Jacob sell his first deal. Like that was like when Jacob sold his first deal. Well, not sold, but had his first deal closed. That was like I'll never forget that rush. Like I remember exactly where we were in California City, and I was like, wow.
that's
This
the kind of
is
stuff,
cool.
Yeah, that brings. I'm a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
I'm taking ladies if you're watching, son. But that's the stuff that brings
Yeah, fires
you
you
know,
up, brings a tear to your eye.
a little tear. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, man. What are 3 pieces of advice you would give a new rep that has never sold anything prior to coming to swing?
Never sold anything. The first piece of advice would be to burn your ships. I don't know who gives that speech, but just don't have any other option. If you have another option, when it gets hard, you're just gonna fall back on it. And I think that's what really helped me my first and my third summer. My first summer, I had no other option. I was gonna either learn how to sell, or I was gonna have to go home and live with my parents again, and I did not want to do that, and I was gonna be broke again. So I had no other option except to make enough money to go and buy myself a sweet truck. And then my first summer selling solar, I had literally no other option. I'd been let go from the company before, and then I had no other option. That one was really sink or swim. Like
Sink or swim.
at that point in time, I actually had bills that I had to pay. I had to pay for that truck payment. Like I had other things to get going, and so I burnt all my bridges, and then I stepped on top.
You burned
Burn
the
my
ship.
ships. Sorry, burn my ships. Burn my ships. No bridges were burned.
Yeah, no bridges burned.
No bridges were burned. The ships were burned, and I doubled down on it. Like I didn't see much success for the first 3 months, and then I doubled down even harder, and I decided I'm gonna work even harder, and I'm gonna really make this happen.
Yeah.
And so
There's something like electrifying about just finding yourself in that no choice program, where when you're there, sink or swim,
it's
do
miserable,
or die,
but it's
the
great
most
looking back at.
miserable.
Yeah.
but the bounce back is
Oh,
the
so
most
great.
incredible as well,
Yeah.
because that's when you really get a taste of, I don't ever want to be in this position again.
Oh, no.
You know, and that feels you for quite some time.
Yeah, for like sleepless nights, months on end, that fires you up. But so yeah, burn your ships. Don't
Burn
burn
your
bridges.
ships.
Don't burn bridges.
Yeah, don't burn the bridge.
Second piece of advice is, I think really what made me exponentially more successful my third summer is trying to just grow myself as a person. that just like going to the gym, reading books, and trying to just like level up my mind. That's what really made a huge difference. So try and grow as a person, like leave that old person behind that was making 30, 40, $50,000 and like become the person that's making hundreds, millions of dollars.
What does a person that makes hundreds and millions of dollars look like, sound like,
Exactly.
think like?
And just become on the
Invest
same
in.
level of that person. You don't necessarily have to change, but you just get on the same level.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes, I'm big on quotes. Have a goal so big you cannot achieve it until you become the person who can. So you can achieve it now.
Yeah.
You're not that person yet.
Yeah, so we haven't done it.
Yeah. You haven't done it.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And then third piece of advice would just be work all the hours, because like it's gonna suck. You're gonna get told no a lot of times, but you have to you have to suck at something. Everyone's that's good at anything sucked at one point in time, and so you have to suck. And the more you suck, the quicker you'll get better. Where if you're just like you suck for a couple doors and then you go sit in the park, and then you suck for a couple more doors and you go sit in the park, that learning curve for that person is going to take a lot longer than the person that just knocks nonstop all day long and just learns.
Yeah.
And just gets the learning curve out.
The L is not for loss or losses.
Yeah.
The L is for learn.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, my 3 pieces of advice would be to run your ships, grow as a person, and then just work all the hours.
Grind. Yeah. There's no elevator to success. We all take the staircase.
100%.
You got to put in the work. Absolutely, man. What's one piece of advice you would give an existing rep that is trying to grow in the company and grow into a leadership role?
First piece of advice would be get a story if you don't have one already. Make a name for yourself.
Create one. Make a name. Yeah, make a name for yourself.
That'd be the first piece of advice. The second one, I think growing as a person too, because if you want to be a manager, like you need to be someone that the reps look up to, and so that kind of goes hand in hand
Lead
with
by
the
example.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
lead
just
by
one, but
example.
hey, keep them coming. Keep
Yeah.
them coming. I said one. You're good. How many
Just,
more
oh,
you
just
got?
one? Oh, I thought
Oh,
you wanted
yeah,
3.
you nailed it.
You
No,
wanted
let's
3?
go. No. Hey,
no, I just say
pop quiz.
those two. Those two would be the biggest ones.
Pop quiz. Jake Anderson, hit us.
Just
Hit
spin
us
from
with
the
it.
dome.
Yeah, let's see how far he can go, guys. If Dr. Livingston was here, this would be another game.
Yeah, those 2 things I think would be the biggest one, but mostly make a story.
Make a name for yourself.
Yeah, make a name for yourself.
Lead by example. Put in the hard work, and everything will work itself out. Because we're looking for those type of guys, right?
Exactly.
Guys that want to make a name for themselves. They want to make a positive impact in the community for people, add value. Because those guys are the best guys that add value to the reps.
To the team,
You know,
yeah.
they're the reps that they're hiring and training. So that makes perfect sense, man. I love it.
Yeah, dude. That's exactly
You have come to 100% charge
it.
here,
100%.
Jake.
There we
You
go.
got the fastest charging Tesla in the company. Max is not gonna like that.
No, he's not.
Chase is gonna be
I
disappointed.
think he's the fastest charged and the longest range.
Oh my gosh! You know what? We actually gotta get you back in here or do another segment where you actually show us your car and tell us a little bit about.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to do that.
I need a 7-seater, so I think you may be able to sell me fast and quick on getting one of these.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend this one. This one's.
So
We'll have to do an episode. So
Yeah, we'll have to
I
do
can
it.
sell
We're
it,
definitely
sell
gonna
everybody
invite
on the Model X.
I know you're super busy, and I know you just finished helping someone get the solar button. I know you have a few appointments, but we'll definitely have to take some of your time and do that. You're fully charged.
Yeah,
Your
let's do
car,
it.
the Model X is fully charged, but how do you charge up? Just in to wrap things up, how do you charge up for the work trips, for
Yeah.
blitzes, for the summers? What do you do? Do you have a
Like when
specific ritual or regiment that you do, that you follow to
I mean, like
get in the zone?
on the blitz, getting in the zone, just hitting the gym, journaling and writing my goals mostly, not really like journaling, but like just writing goals, daily, nightly, like every morning and every night. That gets me fired up, and then meditating. That's really what gets me in the zone. Like once I'm not on the blitzes, I really only want like 1, maybe 2 days off. If it's more than that, I start getting bored. But on those days off, I'll go surf, I'll go play golf, skiing. Those are pretty much what I do. I like to stay busy. I don't like to not be busy.
Yeah,
So,
I hate taking days off because it just gives me a taste of what I could be doing if I'm not working. And then,
yeah. Then coming back the next day after is always tough because you're
well,
like,
yeah.
I could be.
Well, then I'm scared
back
too.
in the
Like,
water.
what if I forget how to do what I do?
Yeah. That's why I don't like it all
What
either.
what if I get
Yeah.
rusty? You know, what if I lose my
Lose the
my
mojo.
edge?
Yeah.
Lose the mojo.
I forget how to
Yeah,
sell.
what if?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Let me
I
not find
think
that.
we-
Let me not find out.
I think we all. I was talking to Brett yesterday, and he's like, I get sick doing what I did this year, but I would ask myself, can I do it again? I'm like, I know exactly having the same fear after last year, especially when I took 5 weeks off to go to Thailand. Great 5 weeks. I wouldn't trade that for anything else, especially time on the doors. But like, yeah, I had the same fear coming back, and it's like, just keeping up with it, just like training, staying on your craft. Like you won't lose it. We learned it once.
Yeah.
You know?
And I love the fact that you mentioned that you do journaling as well.
Yeah.
So
You can go back and look at that.
you're always you it's almost like you dialed yourself in a lot of different areas to where you're just surrounded, your self thought is just surrounded by a lot of positive affirmations
Mm-hmm.
and extremely positive manifestations as well.
100%.
You know, so it's like no one can say no to you. No one can, bring you down. And then that's how it makes sense. That's how you've been transferring a lot of that positivity onto your guys. We always say, everyone, including customers, but they're going to be half as excited as we are, so that's why we need to be enthusiastic. But it makes perfect sense now that I see. And you're doing a great job. You and Brett are doing amazing, building the culture, and we got some sharp up and comers, and I'm super excited that I'm even here, given the opportunity to even do this with you guys.
Yeah, dude, we appreciate it a bunch. It's sick to have it.
So,
I'm excited to watch this years from now. It'll be like the Kanye documentary that came out, the Michael Jordan documentary. It's gonna be sweet to see how this all plays out, and especially this year. I'm excited for this year, man.
What? Alex had hair back then? Oh, yeah, and
Oh, he had a lot of hair, yeah.
He had a lot of hair. He even had a beard. And he still had a beard. Yeah, man. Hey, well,
I might have a
there you
beard by
have
then
it.
too.
do you have anything else you want to let Swave Nation out there know? Some last words before we wrap things up?
Before we wrap it up, just work the hours and attitude. That's the formula. Hours, attitude, and then training. That's like the secret formula to selling deals. That's all you have to do.
Obsess over
It's
it.
literally simple as that. I actually remember when we were out here in July, I kind of had that realization. I was like, oh, I think we were up in the mountains. We were doing like some random hike. And Max was asking me like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And it's like, dude, literally the job is simple. If you just go out and work the hours with the right attitude and you train at night over a period of time, if you do that for a week, there's no way you won't sell a deal. Numerically, it's impossible.
See how long you can go with no days off.
Yeah, just do it.
And then once you find out you reach your first line mark, try to beat that the next time around, and compete with yourself. Beat your numbers. How many people you're getting to talk to.
Yeah.
How many bills you're getting. How many closes you're getting. But I love it.
That's it.
Mr. Jake Anderson, thank you for
Thank you.
coming out here and spending some time with us. There you have it, Swave Nation, on today's episode of The Charge Up.